Hi, it's Barbara, and I'm laughing. Let me pull my chair in. I'm just getting a little confused. I just did oh my God. I had to do a costume change. Excuse me, I have to get dressed here. I just did a couple of reels for the first time. So I figured I better change outfits so people can distinguish my reels from my hour-long podcasts. How's this? I forgot to put on earrings. I didn't want to wear the same earrings. I'm like a one-woman show here. I'm going to be the next Brandy Rainbow, female version. So I'll do without earrings. I'll pull my hair over here. These are the earrings I wore on my reels. And this is the necklace. And I'm just going to wear the same outfit for 31 days for my affirmations. And I don't know if my lipstick is good. So it seems I have a new career, finally. So yes, this is Barbara. It is May. What date is it? Oh my God. Today is May 1st. Today's May 1st, 2026. I have to remember the different scripts. Okay, so this is a podcast. I just finished Reels, and before that I did affirmations for the month of May. So I have to find three different outfits, and I have hardly any clothes. If you see my podcasts, you'll see a green blouse, a black blouse, a red blouse. What else do I have? I have this, which I really don't like, but I was desperate. And then I have my, this dance leotard. Really, that's about all the clothes I have in my life left. So hi, it's Barbara Fiametta, May 1st, 2026, and I'm expanding my territory and having fun. The rest of my life is just insane. I have like 3 battles going on. Is my hair okay, guys? Did I do my hair right? I even added a clip so I could look different. And you know, the reason I have all this hair, to be honest, this is fake in the sense that I used to have all this hair around everywhere. But right now in the back, I have to tell you, I lost probably about 80% of my hair. I know it doesn't look it, but I had 80% more hair. The back does not look like the front. And also my prayer for straight hair for 73 years has been answered because the hair in the back is stick straight. So you know, I miss all that hair. It took so much time to do, but I miss it. But you know, I'm grateful I have what I have. And I panic when hairs are in my brush now because I'm losing the pretty white ones. I really wish they were more white. So anyway, so here we go. Glasses, are they straight? They're going to slide down. We still can't see my eyeballs because of my allergies. And I clearly need surgery, eye surgery. They've drooped. They've drooped since I've lost weight. I did call a Beverly Hills. I'm just going to ramble today, guys. The only topic is going to be teaching. That's going to be my topic. But I called this plastic surgery place I went to in Beverly Hills many, many years ago when I had no wrinkles. I just had a little, what do they call those 2 little lines in between the eyebrows? And they put some Botox in there. So I asked them when the last time I was there, and they said 2011. And it's like one of the most renowned ones in Beverly Hills. And I couldn't remember the name. Today I remembered the name. I called them up. And I said the last time I was there, you said that these wrinkles, Botox would not help. I'm beyond Botox. That they would have to fill it with some kind of filler. So she said in order to see, not even the doctor, but to see his associate, I would have to pay $500 just to see them. And then it would be applied to actual work, which probably I can't afford till I'm 80. So at least I know he's still there. And and then I told you I wrote to this guy in Florida. Well, I didn't write to him yet, but I'm writing to this guy in Florida who lifts cheeks. Just, if you notice, I have cheeks. I've always had cheeks, but they never were like this low. So that he raises the cheeks. I'm looking because I could see myself in the camera. He lifts the cheeks and he lifts the marionette lines. So, but he did do a video where he said that, was it 80% or 90% of the people doing plastic surgery are not licensed plastic surgeons. That was good information. So anyway, so I told you I have to find out who did Joan Rivers, who did Elizabeth Taylor, and now I added the Kardashians, except I don't want those cheeks that she has. She has these big, big cheeks. And so anyway, so let's get to business. So what's the topic for today is teaching and children. The reason being is when I was doing my affirmations, check them out. Look on my, I don't even know how to tell you to find me. Look up at Fiametta. You'll find my podcasts, my 5-hour-long podcasts. But people are, I don't know if they're really listening or they're just scrolling by, but I get a little click, a little click. So I'm doing my affirmations and I'm reading that. I'll share one of my affirmations with you. My first affirmation is, God is real in my life. So that's how I'm reading my affirmations. And while I'm reading these affirmations, I had a memory of how I would give spelling tests in my 2nd grade class. And I'm doing exactly the same thing with my affirmations. I'm reading them very slowly, very articulately, and it's like, Barbara, you're talking to adults. And I remember when I gave spelling bees, every Friday we had 10 or 20. I think I started out with 10 until about March, and then I added another 10 once I sensed that they were really studying, and I got the parents to kind of help them every night to say them, let them spell them back. God, this brings back so many memories. The parents, I would instruct them to say the word, have them spell it back, and if they were wrong, say it again and have them spell it again. And 10 words, so that was 10 points each. And I always prayed they would all get 100. So basically what I would do, if the word was, give me a word. Throw me a word, folks. Throw me a word. I'll get third eye psychic. What's the spelling word? Zoo. Okay. So I would say, zoo. I am going to see the animals in the zoo. Zoo. And then I'd watch them write. And the rule was, when they finished, they had to put their pencil down. So at least I know I got them all. Okay, and then I would say the next word. They could pick their pens up. And I would say number 2. I would say number 2. Well, let me back up and do this right. Okay, first of all, Okay, let me do this right. Don't scroll by. This is funny. Okay, so we have a piece of paper. Everybody would get a piece of paper, and then we had to learn how to fold it in half. Now I'm doing it as an adult, but for them, they had to put it on the table, fold it in half, and then kind of like, look how quick I did that. But it was a task for them to fold it in half, and I can't believe I'm doing this with you. And then, after they folded it in half, they had to put their heading. I can't believe I remember this. They had to put their heading on. And so they would have to write their name at the top, which would be Barbara. You see Barbara? Okay, and then on the other side, right by the fold, right by the crease, they would have to put the date, which is May, what is it again? May 1st, 2026. So this was the heading. Okay, and in the early days, we had to put the school, PS, number 7. So PS number 7, and then we'd put the classroom down. 2-2 meant, what did 2 mean? Second grade, room 237. So this was the heading. Barbara, May, PS, what did I write? PS number 7, second grade dash 237. And then you skip a space, and I had to teach them. The way I taught them to skip a space is they had to draw a squiggly line until they understood what it meant to skip a space. Now, I did this over and over and over until they got it. And then they'd write down, oh no, I'm wrong. No. We wrote spelling test. Oh my God, I can't believe I did this to these kids. Oh my God. Okay, skip a space, write spelling test. Okay, got that? Then skip another space, another squiggly line, Okay, and then number 1, period. Number 1, period. Okay, did I make them skip? Yeah, okay. And then number 2, skip a space. Number 3, skip a space. Number 4, skip a space. Number 5, skip a space. Number 6, number 7, number 8, number 9, and number 10. This is just the preparation for the spelling test. Can you see my spelling test? Now, on loose leaf paper, you remember there was a red line coming down, so we use the red line. Okay, so then I would say zoo. All the animals are in the zoo. Zoo. And everyone would write whatever they wrote. And then when they finished, they put their pen down, and I would wait till everyone's finished, and they would write zoo. And then, what was the next word? Store? Okay, store. I am going to the store to buy food. Store. And then they would write store. Pen down. And then they have zoo and store. And I would carry on like this till there were 10 words. Now, I don't dare tell you, how did we do this? I was very much into organization and order because I had 35 kids, 35 students. It ranged from 32 to 35 in the days that I was teaching. Just as I quit teaching, they brought the classroom size down to 20. after I suffered with 35. And so basically, did I have someone collect them? Or they passed them down? Some routine. I don't really remember what I did. I didn't collect them. Oh, I know what happened. The first person in each row, there were 6 rows in the New York City public schools. The first person got up in each row and went and collected the papers, and they had to be in order. So the first person's was first, the second chair was second, the third just went on like this. There were about 5 or 6 seats. And then they would bring them up to me, or did I have them slide across? When they were really advanced by the end of the year, I had it down to where they could literally pass from row 6, give them to row 5, then row 5 would give them to row 4, then row 4 would give them to row 3, 3 would give them to row 2, and then row 2 would give them to row 1, and the little one in row 1 would come up to me with 35 papers. I would not have survived if I didn't have these really strict routines. But I let them have freedom all the other times. So why am I telling you this? Because I was doing affirmations today for adults, and I was speaking them the same way I speak to 2nd graders. Even my podcast, like now, I speak to you as if I'm teaching 2nd grade. So forgive me. Forgive me. So what I wanted to talk to you about today, because of those, my memories came back. And you know, I have been so sad about the state of public schools. I don't know about around the country. I just know New York and California. And they're not too good. If you get a really good teacher, my candle. If you get a really, really good teacher, can you see my candle? You've lucked out. Your kids have lucked out. But, you know, so I'm just going to bitch here. A lot of teachers in the public schools, they stay until they're 95 years old. And you can't fire them because it's against the contract, I guess. I don't know what the limit is, but some of them just stay in to get the most amount of that pension. And by, you know, I know someone who's still there at 80. I exaggerated with 95. You know, I think you need to leave the latest 70. The kids need someone alive. They need to see their teacher vital. They need teachers who can kind of run around and play with them and walk up and down in the room and walk around the room with them. The kids that, excuse me, I'm belching here. The kids that had the older teachers were out of control because the teacher was too old to keep them in a line. Even in the yard, they would go like, my line would be like nice and neat, and these other teachers that were like 80, 70, 80 years old, the kids would just like run into the classroom and not even line up. So that's number 1. Number 2 is they don't have supplies. They have them downtown, well, LA, in a warehouse. Because I'm just going to go all over here, guys. Forgive me. I have no order today. I wrote a grant. I wrote a grant for, it was $2,000 grant. And this had to be back in 1984. I knew intuitively that I was going to be competing with a lot of teachers. And so I just propelled myself above all of them and wrote a production grant that I wanted to buy a camera. I wanted to buy an overhead projector to teach them. Everything. I was going to teach them how to produce in the classroom. And I knew I was going to get it because of that. And I did. Why am I telling you about the grant? Why am I telling you about the grant? I don't know why I'm telling you about the grant. I'll come back to it. Where was I going with this? Okay, spelling test organization, the grant. I don't know where the grant came from. Oh, okay, I know what it was. It has to do with most of the teachers did not do anything original in the class. You know, they just, like I told you a few days ago, they just do the curriculum the way it is. And they teach from the curriculum. And I shared with you on a podcast recently that I would close the door, shut the door. I don't even know what's right. Is it close the door or shut the door? New York, I think we say close the door. And no, I would leave my door open, because I knew the principal would come to my room with guests. And I also wanted to keep the door open. Just, there was no reason to close it. But I think I told you, if I heard steps or I heard the principal coming with guests, I would signal. I would either turn the lights off, switch the light off, just quickly, boom, boom, or say something like, let's go back to our desks. It was more coded than that. It was much more secretive than that. And they knew to stop whatever they were doing and calmly walk to their desks, take out their notebooks. And there was always an assignment that they had in their desk, you know, just in case. And so the principal would walk in with the guests, and all my kids would be sitting down doing the traditional task, you know, and, you know, they'd say, walk around, Mrs. So-and-so, you're doing very well. And they'd say hello to the children. And, you know, I don't know that the kids ever caught on to what I was doing. And then they would leave the guest, and I'd watch and wait for them. I had big windows. I could see them walk back to the principal's office. And as soon as I saw them walk back to the principal's office, I'd go back to the light switch, turn it on, and the kids knew they could go back to whatever center they were at. So why did I bring that up? Why did I bring that up? I don't know. Okay, so there's two things I'm forgetting. Production. I brought up about visitors. I'm trying to get to my point here. Okay, so my point is, it saddens me what's going on in the public schools. The kids are not getting a good education. And I was so bitter when I left my teaching career. I had a lot of students who were sexually molested by another teacher when they graduated from me and went to him. Big story in the newspapers, and that I had it. That was, I stayed one more year and I was done. Whenever I ran into young women who were planning on teaching, I don't know if this was right or not. If I should have done this, I don't know if I should have done this, but I would encourage them to teach in a private school. I would even go as far as to tell my parents at conference time when I was teaching them. I had a lot of gifted children. I would get, not a lot, I would get this, you know, from non-readers to gifted children and 3 groups in the middle. But whenever I got the gifted parents or the ones that I knew, you know, were really good learners and well-behaved, I really would encourage the parents to try to get them in a private school. My parents could not afford a private school, but then they had something called the magnet schools. So I really encouraged them to get their children into those schools because I knew they would get a better education. And so today, when I was doing my little affirmations and speaking like a teacher, all my memories came back of how much I loved working with children. And you know, when you respect children, when you communicate with them clearly, when they know that you really care and they get it, and you attend to all of them individually, you somehow make time for each of them, if not all 30 in the day, at least 15 and 15. Talk to them at lunchtime, in the lunchroom, on the yard. When children know that you care as a teacher, they will do anything for you. And it's not you want them to do anything for, I don't want them to do anything for me, but if you teach them something, they want to achieve, they want to succeed, they want to give you a good product. Yeah, and I haven't been a parent, but I would think it's the same thing in parenting. If you pay really good attention to your children, then when you give them a task, or they come home with their homework, I would imagine they would be eager to give it to you to sign. Oh yes, my parents had to sign the homework on the top, on the top. So I'm just laughing at all these routines I had. So in doing those affirmations and being reminded what it was like to speak so slowly like that, I started thinking what a wonderful profession teaching is. And yet, when I met young women who were going into it, I either discouraged them or told them to go to a private school. And I would find out later on down the line that they only stayed 2 or 3 years, that they did get burnt out and moved on to something else. So there's this constant flux of teachers these days going in and out. And so I guess what I wanted to share with you guys is open a school. I'm saying that to the entire United States of America. Get together with some parents, open a charter school. I don't know how it works with the money at the rate we're going with. He's going to probably close up all the schools at some point. But yeah, open up schools, get some really active parents, find some teachers that are retired like myself for consultants. Yeah, the public schools, unless of course they're in wealthy areas. So that's my little spiel on public school teaching. When I taught in a private school, I did teach, it was actually my student teaching. I taught at the United Nations School downtown in New York. I think it was 24th Street. I was so thrilled to get accepted. Well, it wasn't about that. I don't think anyone else thought to even go there for their internship, but I don't know how I knew, but I did. And I mean, I remember the principal, Mrs. Ribeiro. She was from India, and she wore her whole, how do you say it? Sarong. And the whole floor was little cubicles of classrooms, no doors. It was the true, authentic, open classroom. And in the middle of all the classrooms was the library. And somehow we didn't hear the noise from the other classes. And I will never forget, my teacher that I interned with was Miss Daub, D-A-U-B. I think she was German. And, it's funny, she was into music. And she taught the children how to play, what is that thing? What is that instrument? Glockenspiel? Where there's 10 pieces of silver things, all different sizes, and you had to go like this. She taught that to them. And there were only about 10 or 12 children. So, and I loved the way she spoke to them. I loved her tone. I loved her speed. And she was so wonderful to me. She let me teach. She really let me teach. Trusted me with them, taking them down to the lunchroom. And of course the food was much, much better than in public schools. And the children were they were children of diplomatic parents that worked at the United Nations. So of course, you know, it was a pretty wealthy school. And that, I lucked out. That was my one of my internships. My other internship was in Chinatown, downtown, and predominantly Asian Chinese children who were very, very well behaved, did their homework. The parents were just on them. Also, routine, had to do their homework, had to be polite, had to be respectful. So I really lucked out on my internships. So I was leading to what I was inspired to tell you, not just about public schools, and I hate to say this online, but I'm saying it. Find the best schools for your children. Who knows what's going to happen with funding? And open schools. Start getting involved in opening up schools. Even if it's only for kindergarten, first grade, second grade, and third grade. If you could just do those 3 grades, those 4 grades, you'll at least give them the foundation of the math and the alphabet and the reading and the spelling and reading literature. You can give them a really good foundation. And if you have to stop at 3rd grade, at least you got that far. And if they're really advanced, if you have to put them back in public school, you know, tell the principal, test them, and maybe they could skip and go straight to 5th grade. So that's my spiel on teaching, but it made me think about something that I think about a lot. I haven't had children, so I love to watch the internet, whatever I'm on. I never know if I'm on TikTok or Instagram, of children. The parents take videos of their children, you know, from the day they're born all the way on up. And, you know, my theme is about God. And God is real. And God is the only relationship we must have before everything else. I watch these children learn how to grow up. And I had to write it down. I am going to read this to you. I find it fascinating. I mean, okay, so the baby, I'm going to skip some, but so the baby, the first thing the baby might do in the crib is try to roll over. I mean, when it gets old enough to like roll over a little bit, it starts like going back and forth, and then the mom will kind of help it. This is when it's a little older. Then I wrote, I can't, the light in here is so bad. What did I write next? Okay, so the next thing is that I've seen is they push themselves up on their hands, like kind of looking around with their feet in the back of them. And who is doing this? Who is doing this? No one's telling them to do this. The parents aren't telling them to do this. The parents aren't taking their hands and lifting them up. They just know to do that. And then I wrote this so fast. Then, I'm making a mess here. I can't read my handwriting. So as their hands are up, eventually they start to move with their hands and they pull their body. So you see them, you know, crawling on the floor. They're not even crawling yet. They're just pulling their whole bodies with their hands. Then eventually a foot will come up. Eventually one knee will come up and it'll go out to the side instead of in front of them. Like, you know, they just kind of, you know, just goes out to the side. Eventually the other one comes out maybe 5 days later. And then eventually, before you know it, they are starting to crawl. Now, who's telling them to do this? Nobody. They're doing this on their own. Then the next thing is that they just start crawling all over the place. They just start crawling slowly first, and then they can go really, really, really fast. And then they get into all the cabinets. And if the parent's very nice, she'll take out all the pots and pans and let them play or crawl into the cabinet. And they'll just go anywhere and everywhere. And no one's telling them to do this. And then the next thing I wrote is the crawling. Then they crawl fast. And then at some point, it seems like they find a way to sit up. They just find a way to kind of tuck their legs in and they sit up. I didn't write any more after that. But if that doesn't prove that there is a God, power, source, creation, a life force that is instinctive, intuitive, because the parent isn't sitting there telling them what to do. You know, once they start walking, the parent does hold their hands, holds them up until they have their balance and can do it themselves. But it's all instinct. How can anyone deny that there is a power, higher, greater, bigger, gigantuan, infinite, that is not behind us growing? So I love to watch those. I love to watch those reels of the kids. They do the funniest thing. And of course, you know, I've seen tapes of them in their cribs. And when the lights are out, there's one family, they have their cameras, the video cameras on. And it's a girl and an older brother. So the little girl is in the crib and the brother is in the bed. And when the lights go out, you can see on the video camera, he walks over to her crib. He puts his legs up there and he helps her climb out of the crib to get into his bed with him. That's one of the things. There's another one I've seen where when the kids get big enough to climb out of the crib, without the mother knowing, I don't know how they don't kill themselves. I don't know how they don't fall. You watch the kid in slow motion lifting their legs and lifting their arms, and you're just sure they're going to fall. But somehow they manage to crawl out of the crib onto the dresser that is like right near the crib. And then they're just right on top of the dresser. And I sit there and watch and go, oh my God, they're going to fall. They don't. They don't. They're fearless. Fearless. And I just think about that. It's like I'm looking at my life now. You know, I'm starting all over. I'm starting my life all over again. And something's inspiring me. Something is guiding me. I'm older now. I have my own ideas. I have my own direction of where I want to go that I'm not following because I didn't expect to do this. Little belch. But even now as an adult, I can feel the urge. There's a life force that is urging me out of where I have been in hell for 15 years, is urging me and pushing me back out. It's not like I didn't want to. It's just that my situation was not good. I just couldn't get ahead. And the only reason I'm able to do this, at least I have a roof over my head. So that is so poisonous, but I have a roof. I have my pad. I have you guys. I have my candle. And I have my floor that I sleep on now. So even now I can feel that I'm being guided, that my life force is being guided. But now it feels like I'm moving more into my purpose. But I guess the point I want to make is I don't have words for it. How is it that these children, how is it that I learned how to walk and crawl? And then I was looking at some of my baby pictures. I have a few left, you know, where I'm sitting there at the, what do you call it that we sit in? I don't have dementia, guys. It's just old age. What is it? The seat that you sit on. the baby goes in and where you put their food. And there's a picture of me sitting there like with my hands, just like squishing stuff. I've seen this on internet as well. And eventually you get a plate. Eventually you get a plate. Eventually you get a fork. Eventually the mother does put the fork, tries to teach you how to put the food in your mouth with the fork. And the bibs, high chair. That's what it is. It's a high chair. I'm just on delay. I don't, it's not a memory thing. It's a delay. I have like a 25-second delay. High chair. And then that thing that goes around you. And the bib. I do remember bibs. I remember bibs. And bibs are updated too. Now they have bibs where it's not just flat. It actually has a cup, like a cup. So if anything drips out of your mouth, it goes into the cup. I'm sure if I walked into a baby store today, I would be shocked at what they have for kids. So yeah, isn't that amazing? It's amazing. And so what made me think about it too is that chart that I made. If you're just coming in new, you have no idea what I'm talking about. But if you've been following me, I've been stressing. I've been stressing. I've been encouraging, cheers, to take baby steps in our lives. So I'll flash you for a minute. Okay, so there's my baby step chart. And I just think about the little kids, like each step they take leads them into walking, eating, talking. Eventually they have to do the potty. Now that to me is a miracle. How in the world do you teach a child to go in that little pot? See, these are experiences I've never had. That to me is a miracle, that you can actually get a child and train a child to go in the little potty. You parents must be laughing at me. That's a feat in itself, really. And I have a favorite family. I have actually 3 families that I follow. I'll tell you, that's another thing, people. Not only open schools, but conscious parenting. I'm watching 3 families where the parents consciously parent their children. They talk to them. They ask them questions. They present problems to them to solve. And no matter what they do, of course, there's praise. There's one dad, he's just brilliant. He should be a principal in a school. I actually posted him, but apparently he's copyrighted or trademarked it because I got a little notice that I wasn't supposed to be sharing his posts. So, and I understand that. But I've watched him go through 2 children. He's got an older sister now and a little brother. And today was the funniest thing. And the parents are incredible. So, what are we going to do? We need good parents. We need great schools. So many of us we did it ourselves. So many of us grew ourselves up. Even that is some higher power. I was pretty quiet as a kid. I was quiet when I was home. I had my little toys, I had my little dolls, and I had my little Barbie doll. And I would just make up stories in my head. I would just make up scenarios. The little paper dolls we would cut out, and I'd create an entire play with them. Who tells us to do this? So that was my topic for the day. So what did we cover today? We covered I can't read my handwriting. I just can't read my handwriting. And I need close-up glasses. What do you call those glasses? Reading glasses. And also another thing that has nothing to do with anything. I did ask for tint on my glasses because of the sun in LA, but they tint in here. I don't know why. I guess the light. I don't know. So this is my third outfit for the day. Now I have three things. I have my my podcast, I have my affirmations, and I have these little reels that I'm experimenting with. You should check out my little reels. I'm gonna send them out to you. They're not really nice. They're not nice. It's the more stern side of me. So I don't want to cut this off. So let's see. Where should we go with the, let's see, teaching. Let's see. What shall I share with you? What's the title of this? I'm supposed to put titles on my podcasts, but I talk about so many things. I don't know I never know what the title should be. Apparently, if I have a good title, maybe people will watch it. But someone's following me, guys, because my numbers are going up, and I don't know how this is happening. I have no clue how this works. I'm baby stepping it. I am baby stepping it. So let's say, so I'm expecting to be evicted. I've been telling you that for a month. They still haven't evicted me because I stopped paying my rent because they gave me this filthy room. Oh, if you go look on my podcasts, you will see a video of this carpet that I got. Filthy, dirty. I took a video, and if you hear me panting, it's because I'm walking without my walker, and I can fall at any second. And so you hear me because I'm trying to hold the camera and trying to hold on to the walker at the same time. And I also put up a picture or a video. I vacuumed this room when I first got here. I knew it was really one vacuum. You'll see how much dirt. This room has not been vacuumed for years. And that's what I'm battling. And Medi-Cal is helping me pay for them, or else I'd be in my own place if I could. So they're getting plenty of money. But what was the point about the room? I need a lawyer. I need a lawyer to prove what these people are doing. The Medi-Cal people who are watching over this particular waiver that I have, they're actually colluding and siding with these people here. This is what they do. They give them a check under the table to shut me down, and then they're all colluding. And I had a medical evaluator here. I'm just going to tell you, medical evaluator here last Thursday or Friday. And we were talking for 2 hours. And I knew by her attitude, this is the third time I met her, that her supervisor, who's colluding with these people, already brainwashed her in what to ask me. And she even tried to put words in my mouth. So she was trying to put words in my mouth, try to get me to say them so she could document them. They think I'm stupid. And several times I had to say to her, no, that's not what's going on. This is what's going on. And taped it, of course. So I get a letter from her, an email this morning. And after a 2-hour conversation, she writes down 2 things. It's too long a story, but one of them was such a lie. I got so angry, guys, and I think of you when I go off balance emotionally. And I said, God, I don't know what to do here. I said, I am so enraged that I cannot prove the collusion. I cannot prove that they're lying. But they haven't evicted me yet. So I think they may have seen my my video, because one of the workers, I'm sorry guys, I'm stuttering all over the place here. Just tune out. I'm doing this for me. Do you know on Facebook when you see a wall of people going around and around to friend, you know, you see all these people. Well, my case manager showed up on my wall. I don't know why. I don't know if she's stalking me. I didn't friend her. She didn't friend me. But I saw her and I said, okay, maybe they're not evicting me because maybe they are looking at my Facebook. Maybe they see that I'm not a fool. Maybe they see that I am involved with society. I don't know. It could show up tomorrow. But so yeah, so these places, these nursing homes, whenever the state comes out or anyone else, they collude to not put in a complaint about the facility, and instead they blame the patient. So somehow it's my fault that the carpet's filthy. In fact, someone here told the Medi-Cal person that I made the stains. You have to go look at this tape. I think it's under, there's different categories. But if you see it, you will see that they're telling me I made these stains. Anyway, this medical evaluator lied in the report. And she said to me to review it. And so, folks, I had to not do anything. I'm going to wait till Monday or Tuesday because what's going to come out of my mouth is, you're full of SHT. That is what I wanted to write. Yeah. So I'm getting a little too bold, possibly. But what can they do to me? I mean, they would have to prove. What would they prove? That I urinated all over this carpet, for 50 days in a row or something. So anyway, I'm happy to do this. I love doing this. And I feel like I could do it so much better if I was out of here. So I'm grateful. I'm grateful to be getting dressed. I'm grateful to be doing my hair. I'm grateful to be putting on some jewelry. I had nothing, guys. I had to go on Amazon, which I hate to go on there, and just get some earrings, get a couple of blouses. I really have nothing. And they are not cheap. I would be better off going to a department store. I would if I could really go up and down the aisles like I used to be able to do and find the sales. But so this thing, where did I get this? This came with me. I did have this. But I'm losing weight, guys. So these things are too big. Getting too big. And I went down a bra size. Can't believe I'm telling you all this. I went down a bra size. You don't know how exciting this is to go down sizes in my leggings and my bra size and my blouse size. It is thrilling. I'm giving myself 2 more years. I'm 73, so I'm giving myself until my passion project. That I'm not talking about. I'm giving myself till December 31st, 2028, when he's either dead or gone, to have not only have my weight off, but it's problematic, guys. I've never had this problem because I was thin, but when you lose weight, especially at this age, there is some that and I don't know what I'm going to do with this fat. And I already asked ChatGPT what to do with the fat. And it was not very helpful. I mean, essentially, I do have to work out. I have to get back to what do you call those things? The dumbbells and the machines at LA Fitness. I have been a member of LA Fitness. I moved out in '79. I became a member of LA Fitness in 82. It was cheap then, whatever it was. Let's say it was $100. And then it was called something else. And then LA Fitness bought it. And when they bought it, I still had my contract. So because I still had my gigantic pink contract, I used to save everything. I've saved everything. Papers. That's probably why they're all gone now. Because I had that contract, I was able to pay $11.99 a month. Where can you pay $11.99 a month for a spa? Okay, so what I would do is January 1st, I would go and work out at LA Fitness. I would last till about January 10th, and then I didn't return until the following January. So I have been paying $11.99 a month, let's say $12. I've been paying $120 a year, 1982, 92, 2002, 2012, 2022. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 40 years. For 40 years, I've been paying $120. 2 times 4 is 8. So it looks like it's 8 is a 0. 4 times 0. 2 times 4 is 8. That's not too bad, actually. $1,800 for 40 months? That can't be. 120 times 40 months. That's 0, 0. 2 times 4 is 8. Wow, less than I thought. Anyway, so I paid $1,800, and I rarely ever go, maybe 5 to 10 times a year. But I don't want to give it up because it's so cheap. So now I have to go work out on the machines and see if I can get any muscle back. And I don't dare tell you about my stomach. But at least I'm losing weight. I've lost 50 pounds. Oh God, guys. You know, I told you already, no one in my family's fat. These are not my genes. This is called, I don't want to go backwards. I don't want to even tell you about the past. I'm going forward. So I will be back to a size 10 by December 31st, 2028, when we have a brand new president. Yes. And of course, I'm going to have all this done. I'm going to need thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars just to put my body back together. So baby steps. I need to get a job first. And if you're my age, if you're anywhere near 73, you do know that this goal of mine is, I could be dead long before I reach 2028. You never know what God's plan is. I hate frump. I hate frumpy. I hate frumpy. I'm used to doing Bikram's hot yoga. Do you guys know Bikram yoga, where you sweat? You just sweat at 120 degrees doing yoga. And Jane Fonda's workout, and LA Fitness, and other yoga. Siddha Yoga is the other place. SIDDHA. But I have been stretching. The last couple of nights, and I noticed that in stretching my legs, I'm actually able to not use the walker a little bit. So I've been thinking that it's my back, but I think it might be my legs as well. I had a lopsided hip surgery. I had a malpractice, guys. there has been no end to the catastrophes in my life. My legs came out like this. And 225 people sued my surgeon in Beverly Hills. I wasn't eligible because of a technicality, but he got out of it. He's still practicing. He's my age, as a matter of fact. And he blamed the manufacturer, of which he was part owner. So it was a big, big case in LA. So yes, so my body needs a whole makeover. And if you can't see my eyeballs, I can't see them anymore. Combination of allergies in this room, everything's swollen, and a combination of losing weight. I think my eyes lost weight too. So anyway, so this was fun to tell you all my little stories, and I would probably have lost all of you by now. And I finally am confident about how to upload these. It's been a real battle. And and I have my first voice lesson this week at a guitar store. I had a free lesson to ask her if she thinks she can do anything, because I'm well hoarse. So we're going to give it a go and see if I can start getting my vocal cords thinned out. I don't know how while I'm hoarse, but at least I'll give it a go. So I guess that's it for the night. Check out my affirmations for the month. They're going to be the same affirmations every single day for 1 month. And let me know if you see my little reels. Now, those, I have no idea how those work. They're very short, to the point, and I think you'll get a kick out of them. And I've got to get something done with these glasses. So I've never looked at myself this often like I do on this podcasts. So I'm going to say goodnight, guys. So have a great night. Have a great, great weekend. And I will see you when I see you. But check out the reels. Check out my little 10-second reels. Believe it or not, I was able to do 10-second reels. Okay. Good night. Bye.